Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Showroom, where we talk about all things commerce, retail, brand, and the innovation behind it, the strategies behind it, what's happening in the market, the business side, creative. That's what we do. And it's a weekly show that we started just a few weeks ago. And I'd love to invite people to listen in, share this out with their colleagues. And if you want to join the show, if you're a retailer brand, come on and reach out to us. Just to get right into it, next week we are headed to the NRF conference in New York City. Niftmint is actually going to be sponsoring a booth, and we're sponsoring the conference. So if you find yourself at the NRF conference and want to connect with us, definitely come stop by our booth. We'll be talking about authenticating products and experiences, tokenization, and RFIDs. We'll also be talking about our new product stablecoins for brands and enterprises. And I'll be joined by my colleague, Aaron Lowe, who a lot of you know, and myself. We will be there. So if you are at the NRF conference or in New York City and would like to connect next week, or I should say next weekend and the following, definitely reach out to us. We already have a handful of meetings lined up with some executives at big brands. We're also going to be creating a lot of content there. So if you see us there, definitely stop by because we will be recording directly from our booth, looking to get insights from you retailers and brands and see, what you have on the horizon, what you think is out there. I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to do something a little bit different in that this is our very first episode with a guest. So I'm really excited to introduce our guest to you today. And what we'll do is we'll talk with her a little bit and get to know her. And then we'll get right into our topic. So with that, I'd like to introduce my dear friend, Tiffany McGhee. How are you doing, Tiffany?
I'm great. Johnny Blanco, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank
That's
you
what I call
so
you.
much for joining me. Tiffany, I actually have a pretty funny, interesting story in how we met each other, actually. It was in the pandemic days. We met on Clubhouse, of all places, if people remember Clubhouse. And I used to host these rooms around entrepreneurship and founders and startups, and that's how I met Tiffany. And we did some pretty fun things together, like our Founder Streams Accelerator, which we'll leave that for a different day. But Tiffany, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, so no, it's exciting to be here. And so I'm Tiffany McGhee. I'm a founder of an investment firm. We call it an OCIO firm, outsourced chief investment officer firm. So we manage money for foundations and investment portfolios for foundations and endowments, institutions. And then I'm also a regular contributor on CNBC. So I just talk about stocks and cool brand stuff on in markets on TV.
Yeah, well, I know. When you're on CNBC, you're often referencing brands and consumer products and things that people use. And so, first question for you is, when you think about the stocks that you encourage people to hold or to invest in, like what's typically the makeup of that stock? I'm sure it's not just like, hey, this is a cool brand. It's probably more to do with, hey, this is a company or a product that can really take off. Walk us through some of your decisions that you make there.
Yeah, I mean, I think a starting question for that is people will ask me, well, like, what kinds of things are you investing in? Where should I start? I think that's probably a good way to kick off the response to this question. And I really believe that you should invest in things that you understand and things that you know. So when you start with that premise, it's like, okay, well, what kinds of things do I use, right? Because you can just walk into your kitchen, you can walk into your home, and you can see stocks all over, right? We're surrounded by brands and products, and a lot of those are publicly traded companies. And so, if it is a product, a brand that you use around your house, or you know, like regularly, I think that's a good place to start. And then
And is
we
that
also
basically because if it's something that you recognize or use, you'll probably pay attention to it more?
Well, not just pay attention to it. It's like you understand it. So I think like Warren Buffett says he never invests in anything he doesn't understand, right? So if it's a product that you use on a regular basis and that you like, and maybe your friends like, this is something that you understand, right? So I'll use like women investing for I guess an example, and so um, you know, research shows that women make better investors than men. I know, like those are fighting words to some people, but all the research actually shows that, right? So we tend to do more research. We tend to have a plan, stick to a plan. But what happens in reality is a lot of women don't have a lot of confidence around investing. Certainly, there are a lot of people that don't have a lot of confidence around investing because Wall Street makes it on really hard, I think, on purpose. And but women are such a key piece of a lot of brands markets, right? And so when you think about all the things that are like women's brands or women's products, brands will spend so much money marketing to women. And when you think about like face products, like beauty products, hair products, women are the kind of individuals that use something, love it, and share it with a friend, right? And things just go viral. That is really our MO. And when you have a pattern like that, if that's a publicly traded company, chances are other people like that too, right? And so um, I can look at things like, and not all publicly traded companies, but like clearly I have curly hair. For all my curly hair girls, we know when there's a product that we like, it you put it on Instagram and it just goes from like 0 to 100 and everybody is like loving it if it's a really good product. Of course, the opposite is true if it's a bad product, right?
I
If
use
it
hair
is not
product
a great
also.
product, I know. This is why we can have this conversation. So if the product isn't all that it's cracked up to be, we find out rather quickly. And so that's when especially women, when I'm talking to women and they're like, where should I start investing? It's like, well, what are the products that you're using every day, that your friends are using every day? You can actually buy stock in that, if it's a publicly traded company. And so I always say, like, if you're going to get the shoes and the clothes and the bag, you might as well get the stock as well. And that's kind of participating in that entire market ecosystem. Are you still with me? I hope you're still with me.
Sorry, I just wanted to make it awkward. Apologies.
Okay. Cool. Cool, cool,
No,
cool.
I
I
wanted
was
you to
like,
have your
I'm
shine,
patient.
and I couldn't figure out how to come back. So I was like, wait, why is this not clicking? Apologies for that.
Listen, I do
But
live TV, so it's totally fine.
hey, I exactly. This is just more preparation and more
Yeah.
more more repetitions in there. So no, I think
Yeah.
that all makes sense. And you being someone that's on CNBC often, giving your takes on this. I think you are a very call it fashion forward person. I'd love to think of kind of take it down to that side. Like how do you think about fashion and not just like the decisions on things that you wear, but again from your lens of being an investor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that fashion has, especially, I would say, like even in like the past like 5 years, right, has really gone through this evolution. I would definitely say 10 years, but particularly you can see it in like the past 5 years. This kind of evolution, shift from having brick and mortar retail to online, and then I would even say like from websites to apps. Like the introduction, the appearance of Amazon and how it has really kind of like dominated everything. And I just kind of pay attention to buying patterns. And I'll tell you, like one brand that I am just so blown away and floored by and impressed by is Skims. And so it's not a publicly traded company. Of course, it's Kim Kardashian's brand. And it is her team. They are experts at execution, at marketing, at branding. Her as a style fashion icon. Of course, she could just get up there and just say, "Oh, I have this shirt," and it would probably just go viral. but she's really first listened to women and created a solutions-based company. Listened to, and in a similar way that Lululemon did when they first came out. And so if you can just rock with me for 1 second, I've always been so impressed with how Lulu took market share away from Nike. Nike was making clothes for athletes. Nike was not making clothes for women. They were making clothes for men. Did they have women's clothes? Yes. Were women buying them? Yes. But Nike's game is a sneaker game, right? Lulu came along and said, hey, listen, I see you moms. I see you professional women. You guys are not, society doesn't see you as athletes, but we do. We see you going to the gym, or we at least see you putting on leggings and attempting to go to the gym. You might not make it there, but we're going to make clothes for you. We're going to make clothes that feel good, that look good, that are functional. We're going to listen to you and we're going to deliver. And that's what they did. And that's how they were able to take a lot of the women's market away from Nike. Now they have some issues right now. They've got to get back to it because so much competition. And I think one of their biggest competitors, I don't know if everybody sees this, is Skims, right? So the Lulu girl is also, a lot of them are also the Skims girl. It's, not necessarily what you would work out in, but in the same way, everybody knows that Lulu created the term athleisure, right? They put athleisure on the map. Well, I think what Skims is doing is putting lounge on the map, because somehow Kim Kardashian has convinced all of us that we need to look hot to sit on the couch. And I've drank the Kool-Aid, right? Like, I need to look absolutely fabulous to sit on my couch and do absolutely nothing. And, I can't even tell you how many carts I have Skims carts, items in my cart I've had throughout the holiday season, before the holiday season. I mean, it's really insane. And all my friends. And if Skims was public, I would definitely buy stock in Skims. But
I think
sometimes
Skims
it
is
loses
worth
translation.
4 billion now. I think that's the estimate,
Yeah.
that it's worth
Yeah.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Kim Kardashian and her team have done a fantastic job with Skims. We actually profiled them a couple weeks ago, where we talked about not only the launch of their New York flagship store from a few weeks ago, but just some of the partnerships that they're doing. So, partnerships with the North Face, you have
Oh,
those
yeah.
nude tones on the slopes, and, super comfy, like you're talking about, leisure wear, but on the slopes, where I feel like a lot of times when you think about skiing outfits, you think of bulky or baggy, or, type of clothing. And then with the NBA and the WNBA, so she's the official underwear partner of the NBA and the WNBA, and then also Dolce and Gabbana. She did a
Oh, yeah.
campaign with, not a campaign, a partnership and campaign with them, and
She did.
there's a bunch I can't even think about right now. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, again, like, she's the queen of brand collaborations. And I love that mindset. When you look at some of these older school brands, they are all about self, which I totally understand. Like, we're going to sell our products. She's like, listen, if you can't beat them, join them. Because when you think about who she is as a style icon, she is in expensive clothes most of the time, and then her own brand. And so she's really making some of these expensive brands accessible to a lot of her fans, a lot of her customers. And so that Dolce and Gabbana, um, you know, uh, partnership, I mean, sold out in like less than an hour. The North Face collab sold out in like 30 minutes. I mean, you can't even find any of that anymore. It's insane. And so, how they do these drops, the timing of the drop, the rhythm and the flow of these product drops is really, really genius. So whoever is doing her product drops, genius.